What's going on, guys? Welcome back to RealLifeOORA and welcome back to Minecraft Xbox 360 Edition. Now today I'm going to be showing you guys something that I love doing a lot on Minecraft. No, it's not redstone, it is terraforming. So if you guys do not know, I like building a lot. I like building Hunger Games maps and just maps in general, adventure maps, stuff like that. I like doing all that stuff. But today I'm going to be showing you one of the most important parts about that, terraforming. Now, if you look at this picture in the top left hand of your screen right now, that is a map I made. It's a Hunger Games Sunken Island, and I actually created that fully legit by hand on Xbox version. So it took me a while because that's all custom terrain that I had to build. Now, many of you may be thinking, custom terrain is hard to do. Kind of, but it depends on what you want to do with it. I'm going to show you two ways to do terraforming. This will help you guys if you want to, take on any projects like that one. So first I'm going to show you a just simple lowland terraforming. This works best if you want to do just small hills or a small amount of terraforming where there's not a big range of like steepness and height that's involved. So to do that, we're going to just get our grass, okay? And you can see this is my flatland world right here made of grass, with the cows and pigs and stuff, and we're going to just go ahead and place it. Now the only thing is when you're placing it for terraforming, you got to make sure that it's like random, because when you look at a normal like seed generated piece of land, it's not like straight edges and stuff like that. It's more random. So we're actually gonna make this a little bit smaller so you guys don't have to sit there through a lot of this. You can see we're just going randomly placing it. We're trying to make sure that there's not any straight pieces like that, because that doesn't look as realistic. So we're going to get a shape sort of like this, okay? And then from that we're going to build that up, okay? Now obviously this is really small, but just do this on a bigger scale and you'll be able to see better options. So one thing about it is you want to have ranging pieces of steepness. So if you look at a topography graph, if you not know what that is, it's basically a graph that shows heights and elevation levels. So basically, not everything is completely the same level. So right here, we're going to actually make this section over here higher than that section, and that's pretty easy to do. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and we're just going to say at this point right here, we want to eventually get to that height. Okay. So let's go ahead and let's work this out. We're going to have a little bit of steeper part over here. And over here we may have like a little bit of a less steep, more gradual incline. So it'll be right there, okay? And then over here it's going to, like we said, be a very gradual incline where it's going to be less steep. So in order to get that effect, we're going to first fill this area in. By filling it in, we go ahead and get rid of the just the standard like steepness that gets added by doing that. Okay, you can see that gets really steep and really high really quickly. So what we're going to do is, how could you be so kind? Thank you. We're going to go like that, and then over here we'll just go extend this out one and then extend that out two. Make sure that when you're placing them inside, they are random just like before, because we don't want it to look like it follows the pattern outside, because something like this would look a little weird if the block just went up from there. So like I said, just make sure it looks a little bit random so people aren't as suspicious. So we can go just like that. Over here we'll have it, I guess, a little bit of steep too, less steep that is, and then over there we'll have it actually steep. So we're gonna go ahead and just place it like that. Now we're gonna have to work on our next layer. The next layer really depends how high you want to go. Sometimes you can add it so it skips a few blocks, which you can see in this picture. This picture is a piece of the mountain I worked on in the Sunken Hunger Games map. Basically what happened in there is I needed to get to a really high point really quickly, so the only real method to doing that was to make it so there were pieces of stone showing, because as you know, it goes down, grass only goes down for a little bit, then stone shows. So that's what I did there. And what you can see I'm doing right here is I'm actually changing and altering the original plan of the circle bit. That is just, to make sure that it doesn't look as weird when I'm building it, because, as I said, it looks a little bit weird if you just have stuff like that, rather than something like this. Oh. That looks a lot better than that, because it looks more random and original than before. So So as you can see right now, we have this sort of area filled in, and as you can see, it also is not that steep. It's very nice, gradual incline. We can even fix this up there a little bit, just like that. See, it looks pretty natural and looks pretty good. Like I said, we're gonna have to get this point up here. We'll actually make this a little bit higher and make it a little bit more challenging. What I said was this one has to be steeper like that, but we don't want it to look, you know, just like a continuum of this, because that would just look weird. So what we're going to do is we're still going to make it random, and we're going to have it at random heights as well. Okay? And then we can also extend this out a little bit. But we do not want to extend it out too much, like I said, because then it would, it'd go back to being gradual like over there. So we can go ahead and we can just have in random areas a little bit more gradual than others. And a cool effect that I'll be showing you in the next video is actually to add stone, like I said before, because that really helps it if you want to give it a nice, good, clean, natural look. And we do not want to end them on corners, like I said. So be sure you don't do that. And also, pay attention, because you do not want to have it look follow this exactly. One alternate method for instead of when placing this down, if you don't want to alter this bottom area down here, what you could do is you could go ahead and you could actually do this. So say you do not want to alter this area right here. You laid this down and you need the base of it to look how it is, but you don't want it to look unnatural. What you could do is you can go ahead and bring this out and alter it by giving it weird sort of like curves and shapes. And that adds for a nice little effect. It does make it more gradual, however, it does help when actually terraforming it. You can see right here, that just altered it from looking, you know, like someone made it to looking pretty good. Right here, what we're going to do is we're going to just start building here. Sometimes it is actually better to start building from the top, because that way you get a good idea of where you have to be, instead of guessing, saying, oh, we can go up gradually by this level, then we need to steeply go up by this level. By going from the top down, you can go ahead and just better understand where you have room to make changes and alterations in your base design. So we can go ahead and do that right now. We're going to want to put that there. We're going to want this one a little bit steeper, so we can go like that. And you can see it does take a lot of time, especially when building legitly. People can go ahead on PC version and just use a computer program to make insane terraforming builds. However, building with your hands is a lot better, because you really have the options to do what you can, but it does take a lot more time out of your hands than just using a program or whatever. We're gonna leave that little step right there. I like that, and we'll bring this down here, and we're gonna slowly transition to this side and then bring it to right there. Extend that one more. And fill it in, and it's getting dark. So as you guys can see, this is the finished product. Again, this looks a little bit weird because this is a very small area, but it does look sort of natural and sort of nice. You can picture, if you extend this out all around, this will look like a very nice custom seed generated area with very low sloping hills, kind of like a prairie or something. It's really good to make terrain for yourself, because like I said, it really gives you the options to do what you want and create it how you want. Plus, it's really necessary for big adventure maps or Hunger Games, whatever you want to do, so it's good to get good at this stuff. So basically, tune in for the next video if you guys are looking forward to learn how to build really high and steep like terraforms, because doing something like this is not the most ideal way to build up to a point that's like 30-50 blocks high. So I'll be showing you guys how to do that. So at the end of this video, there'll be a link to that. If it's not up when if there's not a link at the end of this video when you're watching this, that means you watched it within like a day, so I don't have the other one recorded yet. Just stay tuned and be sure to check my channel. So thank you very much for watching, guys, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.